I mean, like right now, my travel is still like work oriented. It's not like I'm taking a whole year to travel across the continent, even though I'd love to. So probably still like more towards East Africa because of the opportunities. But I would definitely want to see more of the other parts like Southern Africa and Northern Africa, especially Southern Africa. I think I'm very interested in their culture too. I think it's a different dynamic. I would like to go to Zambia, like Zimbabwe and South Africa. Yeah, if I can.
If you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello everybody, yeah, welcome to Just for Women Africa, and my name is Olaleko. I'm also the founder of Just for Women Africa, and before we start the show, we'd like to give thanks to our host Tia Coffee House. They're located here in Accra, Ghana, off the Pachulimba Road. Nice serene environment. If you'd like to come over for breakfast, lunch, dinner, Tia Coffee House is the place to be. And today on the show we have with us Hetty. Hetty comes from China, in Beijing. She's a PR and communications expert, and she loves Africa and she loves traveling around Africa. So we're going to be asking her today on the show her experience about Africa, what she's seen about women in Africa, and various opportunities, you know, here in Africa.
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome to the show.
Thanks.
All right, Heather. Before we go into details on why you love Africa so much, could you just tell us briefly about yourself?
Okay, sure. So yeah, my name is Heather. Chinese name is YIXUAN. I was born in Beijing and spent most of my life there. And then I went to the U.S. to study for college. And then I returned in China in 2017 and have been very involved in the African community there. And my profession is PR and communication, so I was always very passionate about how we can better introduce the African culture in different other countries. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I love that. I love what you just said. Okay, so I mean, you've traveled all over Africa. How many countries have you been to in Africa?
So far I've actually only been to 5. So mostly in East Africa, so Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and Djibouti, and then in West Africa, Ghana. But Ghana was the first stop that I came to last year when I first decided that I wanted to move to Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your impression been so far about, you know, being in Ghana, West Africa first off?
Yeah, I think it's been like quite a journey, and I spent 3 months here last year, and then this time just one month. So I think there's definitely there's a lot of dimensions of how like Ghana or like Africa is perceived outside, and then like your actual experience. So I think so far it's been amazing. I've learned a lot. There's always something new to explore. Yeah.
That's nice. And how long were you in East Africa for?
I was in East Africa for almost a year, so because I had more like work there to do, so that's why I stayed longer. But then while you're in East Africa, it's also easier to travel around because of the East African community. Like tourist visa and everything, so I tried to go to other countries too. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. All right, so you've been around Africa for, let's say, 2-3 years.
1 year, yeah.
1 year. Okay, so what has been your experience been so far? I mean, what's been the different cultures between being in Asia and being in Africa? Is there really a big difference?
I think there's like every culture is very unique, like people usually like they tend to refer to Africa as a whole, but then like you'll notice that like between different countries in the East and West is like totally different, and even within like one country there could be like a lot of different cultures in different communities. Depends on like the tribes or just the like subcultures of the society. So yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I feel like I came with an idea of what to expect, and then like I keep getting new surprises. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, so this is Just for Women Africa. Is there basically a difference in culture when it comes to women in Asia and in Africa? Have you seen any difference so far?
I think woman itself is an identity that connects people from different cultures. But I think both like African and Asian women, I think they have one thing in common, which is like like the resilience or like strength. I really believe that like they're both like very strong women. They have been have been able to like be like very independent in like a lot of the things they do. Like there are always a lot of entrepreneurs that I've seen in like African women and also in Asian women. So they really stand out. I think in the West, like the feminism tends to be like a movement, whereas here I feel like people, they're just embracing their independence already. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that the feminism movement is a lot in other parts of Africa and is not so much in Africa?
Sorry?
You mentioned that feminism is a lot in other parts of the world, but in Africa it's not that much. Why do you think that is it?
I think it's like the society norms. I mean, there are like a lot of things that's just embedded in the traditional values of what a woman's role like in the family or like in the society should be. So it doesn't tend to be like really in your face versus like maybe West is like a campaign or like it's advocacy, but I feel like here it's more about people just being like the way they're representing. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I do agree with you on that. I mean, but okay. So you've been in Africa for like a year. Why are you so passionate about Africa? Because I see some of your videos, I see some of your posts, and you seem to be very, very passionate about Africa. Why is that?
That's a good question. I think like, I think I'm also like on a journey to find out for myself as well, because I think I slowly like got interested in it. Like, of course, my first experience with Africa was when I was in the US, and then like I get to meet more like international students from other parts of the world, and I always felt like it was very easy for me to connect with like the African community there, because it's like a very warm culture that accepts everyone to be a part of it. And then when I went back to Beijing, and thanks to like the church community I was a part of, I was plugged into a very diverse student community that was people from everywhere, especially in Africa. Like it's literally people from every country. That was a very unique space for me to be in, like to learn about every like person and their different cultures. So it was a very exciting time, and I really felt like people took me in, and I felt like a part of the community. So like in Beijing, like I was kind of known as like the African Chinese girl. So, but then I was like, but then I haven't been to Africa, so I can't say that I like know what Africa is all about. So that's why I decided that I need to like bring myself over here and then really immerse, and then to see it come to life. To really transform. Yeah.
I like the name Chinese African girl. So, by the way, do any of your parents or grandparents have any African genes in them?
Yeah, I need to check the family book. Maybe there's something that's being hidden.
Because we really need to understand why you love Africa so much and why you're really in depth into it.
Yeah, because like every time I was hanging out with everyone, I felt so comfortable. I felt like I'm with my own family, even though it's like you're not blood related. So I think that's really amazing, because you make your family wherever you go. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's nice. The Chinese African girl.
Yeah.
All right. So presently you're in Ghana. What's your next stop, or what's the next African country you'd love to visit?
I mean, like right now, my travel is still like work oriented. It's not like I'm taking a whole year to travel across the continent, even though I'd love to. So probably still like more towards East Africa because of the opportunities. But I would definitely want to see more of the other parts, like Southern Africa and Northern Africa, especially Southern Africa. I think I'm very interested in their culture too. I think it's a different dynamic. I would like to go to Zambia, like Zimbabwe and South Africa. Yeah, if I can.
If you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, South Africa would really be a nice place to visit. Really nice place.
I've heard really great things about it.
Yeah, you have to. They have really nice tourist attraction sites and a lot of places to go to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what have you learned about the African woman so far since you've been around?
What have I learned about the African woman? I think African women have been put through a lot. That's why they are very strong. But I'm always very inspired by their strength. And then, yeah, especially what I mentioned earlier, the entrepreneurial spirit. I feel like I started becoming more entrepreneurial after meeting everyone and see like, oh wow, like everybody has like a side hustle or like a business that they're doing. And then meanwhile, they can still like take care of their families. I think that's really like inspiring. And then of course, like my friends, like they're very fun, and I enjoy being around everyone. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're being entrepreneurial. So what kind of business are you into now?
So still like more in line with my like PR and communications background.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I also like communicated with you earlier. Like I wanted to definitely like curate some experiences, and I would love to be able to organize an Afro-Asian festival, maybe sometime next year, to kind of like celebrate a blend of cultures between the East and Africa. I think that will be like one of my priorities for next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I look forward to what did you call it?
Afro-Asian festival.
Festival, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does that entail? Businesses or just flow of different cultures?
I think I definitely want to incorporate different components from business to culture, fashion, arts, to create a platform where people can meet with each other and also explore opportunities to collaborate. Because I think, yeah, we can put our brains together and then utilize the different resources different parts of the world has to offer, and really create something that celebrates the original culture or like people's passion. I really love I love people who are driven by their passion, and I wanted to help them connect with more like opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. We do need to come together and explore a lot of cultures together.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's stronger together. So, yeah, I don't know why there hasn't been like so many narratives centered around like Asia and Africa, because like maybe the oldest reference that I could think of is maybe like Rush Hour, but then that's like African American and Chinese. But like, when was the last time you saw a movie that has like a Chinese and an African? Like, maybe never. So I think those stories needs to be explored, and then so people can see more examples that's not only like, oh, like China is Kung Fu, or like they can understand more about each other as a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I have another question to ask you as we bring the interview to a close.
Okay, sure.
You've been in Africa for a while. I know it's just for Women Africa, but I'm sure the men who are watching will be curious. What's been your experience being with African men?
Oh wow, it's a topic for a whole show by itself. I think it's a very, very hard question to answer, but I think, I mean, like I really, I'm watching a lot of people who have been in like intercultural like relationships, and I feel like it's like so beautiful for people to embrace each other's culture and also create an opportunity for two families to blend. I think that's really beautiful. And then like with relationships in general, I think it's always tricky in this day and age. But yeah, I think it's really nice. I think like I really like the values of like African families, and I think it'll be great to have an opportunity of creating your own like little blended family.
Oh, nice. That'll be nice. Yeah. Because you've been all over Africa. I mean, the only thing missing for you right now is to get an African husband.
Oh wow. Yeah, well, we'll wait. Yeah, like you were saying earlier, you're putting my Chinese flag there. So like when I have my citizenship, you'll put another flag.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a question mark.
It's a question mark.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'll bring the interview to a close. What's your advice to women out there in Africa, in Asia, and the rest of the world who are watching and who feel that is a man's world? They feel they get sexually harassed by men. They feel that there are a lot of barriers, in it for them as women. What will your advice be to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, and then, but like I really appreciate people like you who, as men, like creating platforms to like elevate women. So I think, yeah, like from my experience, it's always stronger when like people come together, especially like women communities, like are always very supportive. People uplift each other, like to navigate this like men's world. So I think for us, it's really important to like create our own voice and be confident in it, and not afraid of breaking like the existing barriers, or don't think that just because it's the way how things happen, it always has to be. So I think, yeah, like I want to encourage women from different countries to yeah, like try to come together, support each other, and listen to each other, and yeah, like help each other grow.
I do agree. Women
Yeah.
should come together and help each other grow.
Yeah, and then I hope we can all unite in somewhere in Africa, maybe in Ghana, like at the event or whatever, so we can all meet. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. So would you love to give out your contact details as we round up the show to people out there who want to, have the feel of the Asian culture, they want to get in touch with you for PR communication consultancy? What's your
Yeah.
contact details?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at .connector.me. And then, of course, maybe I'll send you a link to my other profiles that you can put on the caption. Yeah.
All right. All right, Heather. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having
We
me.
really appreciate you. We look forward to interviewing you in the future.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. And I'll interview you next time about experiences
I look forward-
dating across cultures.
I look forward to that. And to our viewers who are watching, do not forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. And to the next show from Heather and I, it will be bye.
Okay, bye.